I've been wondering for years what makes people so devoted to Trump that they'll defend anything he does. So I decided to do some research on cults and try and understand how they actually work. Not to make fun of people, but to really understand what's going on. Why can't MAGA supporters see what's happening right in front of them? He just called for federal takeovers of the elections. Federal agents killed 2 people in the streets on camera, and his supporters, they defended it, ignored it, or pretended they didn't see it. How is this possible? Because this has never been a political movement. It's a cult. I'm not being dramatic. This is cult psychology. If you want to understand why your uncle still supports him, why your coworker makes excuses, why facts don't work anymore, you need to understand how the cult works. Here are 5 psychological reasons people stay in the MAGA cult, even when reality is staring them in the face. 1. Criticizing him feels like a personal attack. Trump supporters see themselves in him. He's angry about what makes them angry. He fights the people they want to see hurt. So when you say Trump lied, their brains hear, you're stupid for believing him. Why? Because they've merged their identity with his. It's called identity fusion. Identity fusion is when your personal identity becomes fused with a leader or a group. When you attack him, you're attacking their judgment, their intelligence, and their ego. Cult members don't want to hear they got fooled. They don't want to admit their judgment is broken. So instead of considering you might be right, they reject everything you say. Because accepting it means accepting they've been wrong this whole time. Their ego can't handle it. They'll spiral and start yelling, fake news or UFTDS because they're hurt. Somewhere in their childhood, being wrong was a matter of life and death. So being wrong is now unacceptable. 2. He sells revenge, not results. Trump doesn't promise to improve your life. He promises to destroy the people you think ruined it. Immigrants took your job, he'll deport them. Elites look down on you, he'll shame them. Media lies about you, he'll attack them daily. That rage, that promise of payback, it's addictive. They feel powerful and they don't want to give it up. They don't care if their healthcare gets fixed, as long as they're watching their enemies suffer. The cruelty is the point. For people who felt powerless their whole lives, watching someone else get hurt feels like winning. It's not about making their lives better. It's about making someone else's life worse. And as long as the right people are hurting, his supporters feel like they're winning. But here's where it gets darker. Federal agents killed 2 people in the streets, and Trump supporters either cheered or made excuses. They're Antifa, or they attacked us first, or play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Step by step, they've been trained to normalize violence against anyone labeled as the enemy. It started with words, turned to cruelty, and now actually killing gets justified. That's not politics. That's a cult teaching you to excuse the inexcusable. Results don't matter when revenge feels this good. And violence doesn't matter as long as it's against your enemy, which in this case is other Americans. 3, they only listen to sources that agree. Trump built an information fortress around his followers. Fox News, Newsmax, Truth Social, right-wing podcasts all say the same thing. Everyone else is lying, only we're telling the truth. Here's how the training works. Every single day, these sources tell you the same story with the same villains. The media is corrupt. The courts are rigged. Republicans who turn on Trump are traitors. After months and years of this, their brain stops questioning it and just starts believing it. They've heard it so many times from so many sources, it becomes truth. They traded critical thinking for comfort. So when CNN reports something bad about Trump, that's fake news. When courts rule against him, corrupt judges. When Republicans turn on him, traitors or rhinos. There's no outside source they trust anymore. Every contradiction just proves the conspiracy is bigger than they thought. They ignore all evidence that doesn't come from right-wing media. Now this is really dangerous. These people no longer think for themselves. They have zero empathy for anyone outside the group. 4, sunk cost shame. Here's the brutal part. Most of them know what's happening is wrong. They see the lies piling up. They see the chaos. They see things getting worse. But they've spent years defending it. They fought with family at Thanksgiving, lost friendships, wore the hat, went to the rallies. They told everyone who disagreed with them to f off. Now imagine admitting I was wrong about all of it. That's not just saying you made a mistake. That's saying you destroyed relationships for nothing. That you were the problem at every family dinner. that you were the asshole. That's sunk cost shame. It's the weight of everything you invested in for years, all instantly turning into one big lie. MAGA can't handle that level of shame, so they don't. They dig in deeper instead, because doubling down feels better than looking in the mirror and hating what they see. The weight of shame is so painful to them, they stay the course. They would rather go down with the ship than face a lifetime of "I told you so." 5. Leaving means losing everything. The biggest trap is community. Trump rallies aren't just political events. They're where his followers found their people. The friends who get it, the group chats, the watch parties, the shared enemies. For a lot of them, it's the first time they felt like they belonged somewhere. Why is it the first time? Because before Trump, they felt invisible. Their towns were dying, their jobs disappeared, nobody in politics talked to them or about them. They felt forgotten. Then Trump showed up and said, "I see you and you matter." And suddenly they have a community, a purpose, a tribe. So leaving Trump doesn't just mean changing your vote. It means losing your friends, your community, your purpose. It means going back to being alone and invisible. And that's terrifying to them. So they stay. Not because every lie makes sense, but because staying means keeping the only place they felt like they matter. This is how cults work. They isolate you, give you an enemy, make you dependent, and convince you that leaving means losing everything. Some of these people know what's happening is wrong. They see it. They just can't admit it because admitting it means everyone gets to say, "We told you so," for the rest of their lives. They're more scared of being wrong publicly than they are of what Trump's actually doing. Their entire identity is wrapped up in not being a sucker, not being the fool. And most of them have never felt important before, never had a voice, never mattered. Trump made them feel powerful for the first time in their lives. But here's the thing about the power they found. It's just cruelty and violence. So yeah, they know federal agents killed people. They know he's trying to steal the election. But their pride matters more to them than doing the right thing. And here's what they don't understand. The cult will eventually come for them too. This is how cults work. They make leaving harder than staying. Some will wake up, most won't. For those who start to doubt, the door is open, but you have to walk through it. For the rest of us, we protect each other, we vote, we organize, we make sure the cult doesn't take democracy down with it.